Test. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's Sim Racing Heat Race 13 from Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina Island. I like to welcome you to a hopefully very exciting night. We are firstly, as always, looking at the track map for this circuit. It had 16 corners since it was structured in 2021. We got rid of a very annoying chicane combination where turn 9 is now on your left hand side of the screen, and also the first chicane that was at the end of the first sector, and that has been removed in favor of a very open but still tricky turn 5 that allows us for more and especially better exits and overtakes into the turn 6-7 chicane. And there were also improvements to turn 13 and 14. And we will be looking at the last result now. China was the last race, and we had a very interesting combination in terms of the Drivers' Championship and how that played out. We had a very dominant performance from Nordic in the qualifying session, as he took the pole by 1 second. We also had a Mercedes crash in qualifying. We got a very, very exciting battle between Fellison in third and Kovatska in fourth. They were battling the whole race. You can rewatch it and you can see how much of screen time they got. There was a very unfortunate contact at this first opportunity into turn 1 between our championship protagonist as Nordic Ninja and Critical Damage collided on the outside of turn 2, and there was a short and brief moment on the outside where Critical Damage ran wide because of that. Then his woes continued as he suffered a drive-through penalty and also had a very questionable late stop at the end, but he made it past Moksha and did some damage limitation into P5. We also got Parem, who was a very interesting strategy. It was very confusing as well. Standings, in short, Critical Damage lead is now down to 40 points, and Nordic Ninja will attempt to continue the upward trend as we move into the 13th race of 17, and we will see how that plays out. And a quick look into the standings. Let me change that here real quick. Ferrari is running away with it. We have a nice midfield battle between Williams, Haas, and Alfa Romeo, and we will see how that plays out for tonight. As we move into the session, Nordic Ninja currently holds the provisional pole position time of a 22.0. As everyone is on softs at the moment, there are no alternative strategies as Parem is not here tonight. And as you can see, we got also some new names, and ENG is already retired. And there's no fucking shortcut for track map. Although M is very appealing to that. Let's look at the teams. As usual, Fellison is in the McLaren. Still no Doi, so ENG takes that again. Fellison left the session. Mercedes has Andy Andre, but no Parem. So Mercedes is only with 1 here tonight. Nordic Ninja and Kismakus are here as well, as we ride on board with him now. Williams has Moksha here tonight, and No Silver has retired as well, probably because of the leave the session bug. There's no Vega for Williams as well. Both Ferraris are here, Kovatska and Critical Damage. We have Haas with Tsiaktu and no Slayer. so he is missing. Aston Martin is not running with any car again. No Sebo, as we just mentioned, but he is, for the first time in this season, if I'm correct, is partnered by someone else, and it's RLS Nico. And as you can see, that is not the only guy. And I've been informed in the Discord that that was very wide from Kismikus. I would assume an invalid lap time there. No, but not a good time. I was informed that he took some guys to this league at the end of the last race, and they have been trialed on the weekend, and they will do their first race as Nico has just been disqualified, and the second German in this league is now down to P15 as his time gets removed after blocking the pit lane, and that was the exit of the pit lane. So very good start, but he can do back to podium run if he wants to. AlphaTauri is again with Krankjörg and Supermax, aka Lambo owner, also one of the admins of the league, as I just realized last week. Alfa Romeo has some drivers for the first time, finally. Racing Wiener or Wiener, not so sure. And Coutinho will be running for the Hinwil outing or the Hinwil team tonight. I'm looking at the list. I'm not missing anyone. That's good. Yeah, and as I said, Insine is again filling in for missing McLaren. And we have some connection issues as of right now, as we watch Kovatska going through that track. I realized I should start earlier because all the stats are just kind of annoying at the moment for the qualifying. I will do that for next time, but just let me finish that. Fellerson has now 4 podiums after last time Nordic has moved up to 8. Andy is tying critical damage with 9 now. Critical damage as Nordic Ninja puts in a new fastest lap of the qualifying session so far. That's 3/10 faster. Let's see what Kovatska can do now. And he peels into the pits. The next guy is on an outlap because of his teammate. Coutinho is also retired because of the bug. So the next guy, but he's slower. That's invalid. That's an outlap. That's with Siatko. Okay, let's go with Siatko. Or is Andy faster? Andy close to being faster. Yeah. Critical damage on 7 wins. Nordic now on 4. Andy is the only other person with a win. And that's only 1. As he just runs wide on the exit curve of turn 11 and now invalidates the lap time. No, that was 12 because that's 14. That's 16 here. Let's go to Tsiako. And also pole positions are now 7 for Nordic, 4 for critical damage and Andy. And as he realized, it's turned around, so let's focus on the action ahead with 7 minutes to go. Tsiako puts it into P4 right now. He put in a 1 minute 23.4 and we'll be happy with that since he's very close to the top guys. Oh wait, there's a set. I just realized there's a 7/10 gap. Jesus Christ. I for 1 second thought they all were doing 23s, but I was wrong about that. That's great. Anyway, Kismikus is into the first section. It will be very important to maximize turn 5 and turn 9 exits as they are critical. You just mistimed turn 7 and 8. As they will be critical for getting down the power for an open overtaking opportunity and to get also the power down to defend from someone who's trying to overtake you into turn 9. I just go with Wiener, but I'm not so sure if that's correct. Wiener outlap, Fellowson outlap, Kovacs outlap. Schrankert decided to pit, but his lap was also invalidated at the first last time we checked for him. Kismokus just... Oh, there's no one behind you. Why did you drive forward? Ah, well. Just putting down some notes as we have currently no on-track action. Let's go with Fellowson. We just started his second sector. I don't like this camera angle. It's too close up. The chicane. But wasn't really fully committed into that. Turn 13, 14, double left-hander. Improves by over 2.5 tenths and moves into P5 for now. Kowalski also improved. He's into P4 with 23.1. Nordic seems to be on a lap. No, that is no lap. Gizmokus is out lap. Let's go with the Alfa Romeo. 1 minute 4 already. Don't think that's gonna be faster. And the out lap as well. And the Alfa Romeo spins. Go with Supermax into turn 1. Very late turn in here for the guy. Up the hill now. Short shift into 7. Probably to keep the traction. It's a bit faster right now. Don't upshift on the apex. That's not a good idea. Now he goes onto the main straight. The best overtaking opportunity for tonight into the chicane of 7 and 8. Locks the brakes a bit. And is loose on the exit. There's still some time to be found in his lap, but he will not have another attempt. And that is a very, very small improvement. He's cautious on the acceleration there out of 9. And he just completely misses the turn in for the next corner. So I think personally, and you just retired. You just crashed there. Person retired. Not so sure if he just died out there. Okay, probably the last attempts. Andy Andre still 7 tenths behind the front row. What can he deliver? He delivers a 22.7, which is improvement by 2 tenths, but that is not fast enough to be in the front row. Half a second improvement for Moksha, who now sits at a 23.4 as well. And Nordic has slowed down to attempt his final run now. He seems to be very comfortable in his position right now, and critical damage is not out. So I can't really see anyone beating his time. As Kismukus finally puts in a time of a 26.2. And Krankjorg is also on the lap. Let's see how he compares to his teammate. No early upshift into turn 3, that's very good. Car looks stable with the high speed corner there. Brakes a bit early, a bit too much curb on the outside. It's like something on you have on a normal asphalt track for your normal everyday car. Don't run over the drain cover basically, like this small outside line. I just don't know the word for it in English right now. Very good exit out of 7 and 8. Good braking as well. It's a very little slipstream moment there. And seems to be stable under braking, has good traction, trusts in the car. Moksha finishes now. Is through. There was no improvement from Racing Wiener as well. And Nordic Ninja puts even in a faster time and secures that pole position. I don't think that was in anyone. There was no doubt in anyone's mind that he would take pole position. And he invalidates Krankjorg. You have to be careful, my friend. My guy, 4 people have not set a time. And he couldn't do it either, because he went too aggressive and too greedy on your only run. What were you doing? That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. And that's a pole position by 7/10. I can't write. Wow, that was to be fair, that wasn't eventful at all. But I wasn't really trying to get to see how this lap was coming together for Nordic, as it was just so predictable that he would take pole position. 1 minute 21.6. Next guy is almost 7/10 behind. Bro is washed, can't pull out a second. Lamau, and the rest is just spread everywhere, like from P3 to P7. That's 6/10. The next guy is 3 away, and the next is 2.5 seconds away. That's crazy. That's honestly crazy. And it seems to be a dry race. Which, for the record, doesn't surprise me. Let's see. Nordic, if everything goes to plan, nothing really happens, he can close the championship gap by another 8 points tonight. He would rather have more trouble for critical damage, so the lead can be chopped down faster and earlier, because you don't want to leave it till the end, if you're honest with you. So that's also a very odd number, 79. I don't see a lot of people racing with that. I don't think there has been one guy in my league who has used that number. Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest, but I don't think so. 86 might as well be the same case. Still find it odd that critical damage has 67 in his name and races with the 97. Again, sounds like a generated name from the console. But could be wrong on that. How is that thing? Okay, the race will be starting in 2 minutes time. And then we will be seeing, hopefully, an eventful Grand Prix. China was good because we had a private Hungarian duel with Feddersen and Kovacs for the whole race. And they again line up next to each other, this time in 4th and 5th. No, again, I think, because I think everyone was in front. Nordic Critical and Andy are also as well today. So I would assume the top 5 might be even the same guys from last time. See, there's a spare medium for Korbetska and Kismakis. So oh no. That could cost a spare for Nocibo. Because this car might be removed from the formation lab. Sorry, from the grid, because there's no formation lab. Oh. I think if you have the hearts in the garage, you don't have them in this strategy. So I would assume at the moment the planned strategy for Kovacs and Kismakos are both with the hearts in their strategy. In theory, if you don't start on the hearts, you could still have them as your next tire, maybe? Or maybe that's the next tire, who knows? I'm not so sure. Because I can't see the grid. There's also very little personnel who are watching whatever. And we go to fire red lights for tonight's Sim Racing Heats Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi. It's lights out and away we go. Nordic has a decent start, is ahead of Critical Damage. As that was very close with. Oh, and there's a spin from Kovacs. Kovacs spins around and he's down in position. And there's a huge accident! Huge accident! And that's a safety car! Siatko just decided to yeet himself in the most science way possible into the barrier. And Supermax also retires! Why? What happened? Why? Why, I mean. You just retired. Okay. Okay, Nocebo is still on the grid, which is good. I don't know. There's another 5-second penalty for 10 seconds for Nico already. Okay, I have to stop myself. Nordic pulled away, he's on a soft tire. I don't know if he would attempt a pit stop right now. Kismuko Soft is up into P6. What a first lap. Avoided all the collisions. Just went through it and survived. How on earth did Siatko lose it that badly on the first lap? What the fuck? And Nico got 2 5-second penalties for a collision, as both Alfa Romeos also moved up. Okay, Cunino moved up 6 positions. Racing Wiener actually stayed in the same position as did the top 3 and in Genie. As Fallison pits from the hards. Okay, I'm not sure about this one. As we have Nico and Kovatska in. Nico is probably serving his penalty and is on softs, which I would think are not the best option. I'm not so sure if you can do the medium soft. Nico's on Inters! Nico! Nico, my friend! Okay. Why? What happened, my guy? Did you want to select the hearts? Please tell me you want the hearts. There's no rain on the horizon. Nothing on the forecast. I guarantee you, no rain. Please come back into the pits, my guy. Obviously a misclick. I hope so. I'm pretty sure. Okay, it says no one stop for this race with the soft and the medium. I'm just trying to remind myself. Kismoko's 5-second time penalty for collision with Moksha. And Sviatko has understandably left right now. I'm looking at the tire strategies right now. No Sibo still not in, I think. We got the top 3 behind Nordic, obviously. On the medium as well. And I'm curious about the hard strategy. Kovetska obviously decided to not run that just shredded tire from the spin. I would think, as Nico does a half spin again. Okay, I have no idea what's going on with Nocebo, but I hope he can continue the race. Let me see if I can invite him maybe. Oh, let's hope the game doesn't crash again like yesterday. Please don't crash, please don't crash. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay, so Nico is gonna serve the... Oh, maybe that's the plan. He was coming back anyway, so he can now select the tire he wants. Because he wants the mediums. Yeah, while he could have chosen a hard, put one lap on and then go back again. Wo kein Kläger, da kein Richter. There's a German saying for that. If there's no one to judge you or to basically bring you to court, then no judge will penalize you for that. So if there's no rule for that, do it. I have to be honest with you. Okay, so aggressive strategy for Kismoko's Crankyok. They're usually lower down the field. We have no idea what the new guys do. Siatko is a good midfield runner, is out. So that's a free position for everyone. Supermax, usually at the back, isn't really an influence to the points paying position. I'm intrigued to see how the Alfa Romeo can extend the tire, how long, if they want to go for the soft then. And if they can keep up with the top guys after passing Kismokus, because I would assume they have the pace to do so. And usually Kismokus qualifying pace also is a representation of his performance in race. The safety car is in at the end of this lap, and Nordic will be setting the pace for us, and he will be hoping that Andy has enough pace to challenge him and give them drivers behind a good run for their money, because that would result in a 10-point swing, maybe 11 if he gets a fastest lap. Safety car is in now and has crossed the safety car line, so Nordic is controlling the pace. And we'll be watching that from the rear wing. Let's see what the telemetry says. He's still not going. And now he decides to pull the trigger and is 7 tenths ahead of the next car, and there's an incident at the back. There was an oversteer moment for the Alfa Romeo, as Nocebo is being passed by everyone. I assume he's still not back. There are no moves up ahead, but everyone is running right in at the exit of turn 1, and there's a fight. Jesus Christ, that was very tight there. As Nico has already passed Kovatska, Fellison, and the AI of Nocebo. Was probably gonna struggle now. Let's see if Nico can make some moves here. And Fellison is trying to overtake his colleague and very friendly guy. And Ingina retired. He just ran to the back of someone, I think. He just went straight on and retired. I saw it at the edge of the screen. And there's another safety car. And I think if you're on the softs now, you should pit. Don't extend. Just pit. Even if your strategy can work in terms of the soft to medium, you can't run the tires at the maximum pace because you are already over that point. Because it's around, depends on how long the distance is. But usually if it's like, let's say 10 laps, or 12 maybe in this case, you will be going over the best pace state of the tire very soon. And there are a lot of people peeling into the pits, even the Alfa Romeo of Racing Wiener, who's on the hards, but not Nordic, which I at the moment find surprising. Everyone is in, apart the top 6. And we'll be seeing lots of different strategies. Okay, let me elaborate further. If you have a stint of 12 laps and you have raced basically 5 laps under the safety car, you have used some of your fuel, but you still saved some. So technically your car is not really getting lighter, which is usually obviously the advantage you have on a soft tire if you put them on at the end of the race, because that's the fastest car you can have on low fuel and the best tire. Then you have the problem that you have reached the point where, yes, you kind of conserve your tires, you don't use anything of them, but the problem is that the pace you have left on the tire now, because it still wears, you kind of drive over the cliff of 25%, and the next thing you will notice is a very sudden loss of grip, because if you just drive slowly, then you kind of settle into that pace, and if you try to push it now, the tires don't really give that to you. I would assume Nordic knows this, because I think he's very experienced, and also fast guys usually know that. He's not some sort of qualifying merchant who just puts it in pole by 7/10 and is in the wall at the end of lap 3. I would say, because we will be resuming racing at the end of lap 6, that his call to stay out is not the right one. I'm certain, and I'm pretty sure you can do a 2-stop with the medium. And I would have recommended that to Critical Damage and Andy in a certain way, because the tire they are using... Oh no, they were on the mediums. Okay, forget this. Okay, I would recommend a double medium strategy for Nordic, because I know the tires last that long. So I think you stay on the right course in terms of soft medium is probably a working strategy. My theory is Critical Damage and Andy will be putting on a soft later into the race. Obviously, you have the disadvantage of losing track position right now, and some traffic with potentially slower guys ahead. Plus, Nordic is probably still gonna extend his lead over the people behind with not so great, you can say, suboptimal soft tires. The problem is the traffic, kind of. I don't think the pace is the problem. He can make moves. He can easily close the gaps, but there's some sort of Undercut from everyone that is in P7 or lower. Kismikus swapped from the soft to the medium. Nico went to another medium. Crank York also onto the medium from the soft. Andy to the hard from the medium, as did critical damage. And Kuhino is the only guy to switch from the hard to the medium, which is viable strategy in my opinion. I think you can also extend to a point where you can use the soft at the end and just drive a faster two-stop. There was one race here where I thought, okay, just stay out of the tire that lasts. But I figured, and unfortunately had to suffer from the problem that people with a extra stop were just faster. We will be looking at Nordic once again as he controls the base at the restart. The safety guy is peeled in, and he kind of does the same thing. And there's also 7 lengths ahead right now. Yeah, and there's passes of Nocivo who still cannot rejoin, and Kismikus is into the pits. And Andy just moves past Nocivo, but it is getting critical there. A lot of movement. The AI is there in the way. And Nico goes around the outside of Kuhino. And they collide! The AI from Nocivo just took out Nico, who has been in the particularly bad spot as of right now. And his qualifying pace suggested to me that he was probably faster than the position he's right in. And Fellison has moved past Racing Wiener into P3. Also decided to stay out on the hards. He's gonna extend that stint and probably gonna pit for soft later. Or very early medium for the undercut. That's the thing. With you save your tires, yes, I know. If there's a safety car. And there is Nordic spinning! I just realized there's only one Red Bull at this time that can be ahead, and Nordic spins! And that seems to be the case for the tire I just mentioned. And Critical is now critically for the championship into P3. And Nocivo was in the session, so he might have taken his teammate out there. Who's already at his R's again. What a turnaround. And Nordic did pit at the end of the spin. Why? What are you trying to achieve, my guy? As you see a three-way battle from P5 to P7 with Kowalska, Andy and Kuhino, who is probably the fastest guy in terms of the tires right now in this group. And Moksha is leading the race on the mediums he's been using from the start. And Critical moves into second place, and that is in fact very critical at this stage of the race, because Critical has done a stop, is on the better tire very soon, because and there's another spin. Racing Wiener spins. That's 3 positions for the next 4 guys behind. Also not including Nordic Ninja, sorry. This is very critical. A very crucial mistake. Because Critical can now pass Moksha, as Kowalska just runs extremely wide on the outside of turn 1. He can pull out the gap, he can move away, and he has already pitted. He still needs to pit again. But Nordic probably has no pace at the moment. Enough pace for the kind of midfield right now, but he's not faster than anyone at the front. Wow! That is some turnaround, and he's already the guy who's in the lead of the championship. He moves past Moksha and is now your new race leader. And there's an aggressive move to the inside from the Finn on the Dutch guy. And sister team against sister team. Red Bull ahead of AlphaTauri now. And there's another yellow flag for, was that Nico? There's no wing missing at least. And there's a new faster lap for the race as well, 26.1 from critical damage. As Fellison is right up the rear diffuse of the Williams, who had some very impeccable performances as of lately. But he needs to think about his race. That's not with critical damage. That is not with Fellison. That is also not with Andy Andre. He is currently on the alternative strategy. He stuck it out there. Didn't pit under neither safety car. As Coutinho moves past Andy, and we can see how Fellison just completes the move into the second. Oh no, that's the only chicane, sorry. Into the chicane, splitting the two main straights. Is there a repass or attempt of Moksha? Yes, there is, and the Williams is back into P2, and that costs a huge amount of time. And that is also helping Critical to extend that gap. Oh, very close moment there from Andy, who nearly collected Coutinho. I hope I pronounced that right. Please correct me if you see this. I just can go with Kugi if you want as well. Very good scrap here. And there's another spin. And it's from... And there's a safety car once more. For what? Because of damage, yeah. Okay, that's safe Nordic, but he just went past the pits. Kovalska is in again for a fresh set of mediums. As is Racing Wiener in for new set of probably mediums as well. He was on the used hards from the start. And that's hards for Nico. That was not no Sabo, that was Nico, I'm sorry. He's behind that, sorry. Forza Rabbit. Yeah, mediums for Racing Wiener. These new guys don't have particularly great luck. But I would still side with the guys and say, or at least for me, I would say reduce safety cars enough. Let's see what the rest does. 18 laps on the hards. No chance. No way they can do this. Just putting down some notes. Bellison has a 3-second time penalty under the safety car. My guy. Ah, that's in the pits. That's a bug penalty. Okay, I'm very interested to see what they will put on. Moksha, I would assume hards. Mediums again for critical. Seems the best choice. And Nordic is finally in as well. Kugi, also mediums. Nordic mediums. So maybe that is his planned strategy with 17 laps. I am sure they can last that. But I can also see a double soft working in terms of the pace. Like, if you're one of the front guys, you can do this. Yeah, Moksha's gonna have a hard time now. Fellison is on a used set of hards, apparently. Andy mediums. Krankok hards now. And Kovatska is in again. He put on a fresh set of mediums, is now back to the other mediums. Why? I'm confused by that. Okay. I'm just putting down some notes for the drivers later in the interviews. Why is it so warm in here? Don't get it. Co-op strat. Oh my word. I have no idea how this is going down. Nordic, with his pace from quali, is probably the guy to make moves now. There are potentially 3 slower drivers in front of him. Well, if you base it off of the qualifying, then everyone is slower, obviously. But that doesn't mean anything, as we just witnessed a very strange decision in terms of the strategy that played out for him especially at the call of the second safety car. And I hope we get more racing soon. I think Nico is still in this, but I have no idea how consistent he can pull performance out of his car and out of these hards now, as he has really received a quite a big hit in terms of confidence, I would say. And as I said, considering the time he had before he blocked the pit lane exit and got disqualified for that at the halfway point of qualifying, I would assume he's also one of the at least top 6 guys. But he hasn't been A, particularly lucky, and B, yeah, full of errors, I say. Let's watch from the wheel wing of the leader once again. And we have the telemetry open to see when the Ferrari of critical damage is accelerating. He's very close to the safety car. He just pulled in, and sort of similar timing for him as Kugi already moves past Moksha and that's wide, and makes the best out of his tires at the start, because the Williams is on hard. Let's see what Nordic will do. Is there any opportunity early on at the restart here? Oh, look at the speed he can carry as Krankok and Nico battle it out for P7. There was also Kovetska against Racing Wiener. And Nico is past Krankok again. And there's Ferguson and Andy battling, as Moksha is already out of the DRS zone. And they will be probably passed by Andy right now. Oh, there's a lot of ERS usage going on right now. Moksha is also on a, as it seems, very low downforce setting, and Nordic has passed Fellas. No, they're free wide into the turn! Oh my word! And somewhat Nordic makes it pass, but I'm not so sure how illegal that was at the exit of 14. He maybe potentially pushed Moksha wide and just put the elbows out and pushed his way through, as there's another yellow flag from Kismokus. As there's a bit of wheel banging with Nico and Fellison. And the Alpine is through. New P6 in his race. Oh, there's a potential repass now from Fellison into the braking zone. Nico is quite eager on the brakes. Very precise braking he's doing, as Wiener and Crankyork battle it out. And there's also Nico now moving past Moksha. What a run this guy's having. Around the outside. I have no idea why the camera is so blurred. Motion blur isn't even on. I think the helicopter might be bugged. Oh! And Fellison decided to stick the nose up the inside. And Andy already closed the gap down to Kugi, as Moksha was a second behind at the restart, going into the chicane. And we get a new fastest lap from Nordic Ninja, as Nico is trying to close that gap down, but he's on hards and only on 30% ERS. Very critical moves he needed to be completed as soon as possible, and he did that. Moved past 4 guys, even 5 maybe. And we have some sort of grouping right now. Kugi can actually keep up with critical damage. And there's an ERS advantage for critical damage, but he decides not to use it. And the Alfa Romeo is into P1, as we haven't seen no Alfa Romeo for I don't know how long. One is leading the race now, and it's Fellison against Moksha once again. He puts the nose up the inside, but there's nothing he can really do about that in this corner. You need to be in some way next to the car, as Kugi just put in the new fastest lap, and we'll get that extra point. If that race would finish right now. We just passed the halfway point, as Gizmicus just again spins. I have the feeling no Seaboy has been lapped already. No, that's not the case. Where is he then? Oh, he was lapped, because he is here. But Gizmicus is listed before in front. Critical is keeping up with the Alfa Romeo. Let's look at the ERS distribution. Very little from Andy. Kismakus retires into the pit lane, as critical damage takes the lead into turn 9 from Kugi on lap 17. They're both on the same strategy. Oh, there's an inside line for Kugi, opening up the race side by side into the hotel section, but the Ferrari keeps ahead. And the rest behind is licking their fingers because they enjoy this. And they won't be losing any time. And the gap is opening up even more to Nico, as Andy is very loose on the exit. There's a chance for Nordic. And he is into P3. P3 for Nordic. And there's another yellow flag. And another safety car. Nico retired! What happened? What happened? What? Did he crashed the car and then decided to call it a day? Yeah, no terminal damage. So retired on track and is out of the session. And we got another safety car. And this screams soft tires to me for everyone. 100%. We got 2 more laps of safety car and they will last 10 laps. No doubt. Need to train my vocal cords a bit. I still have the feeling that he's lapped, but the gap to the leader doesn't show it. But he must be. He's 1 minute 45. That's over lap behind the next car. But isn't lapped when it comes to the gap to the leader. Okay. Yeah, softs. Please, Moksha, don't stay out. Thank you. Soft for critical. Soft for the top 4. Fellas and mediums. That is a mistake in my opinion. Kowalska goes to the medium he had on for 1 lap under the third safety car and then decided he didn't want them. What's that, the 4th safety car already? So I would assume that the safety car was called because Nico crashed the car and had damage. And because we just had that with Nocebo before, who caused the 3rd safety car of the night. The damage done to the car was enough for the game to call another safety car. But I'm not so sure why he decided to retire then. He had good pace and he was not out. Could have gone for the softs, repair the car and go again. But at this point I can see how the frustration is also very high. This time we have a new leader at the restart. Who just ran wide and let critical repass. But why? You can't do that. He was offside the track, so usually he's very close to the safety car. He can't go right now, I think. Just pulled in. Critic is very close and I got slowed down. What is happening, my guy? And then he almost smashes into the back of him. And Nordic has an opportunity to pass the Alfa Romeo, but they're sort of side by side into turn 3. And Andy is licking his fingers once again. He's enjoying that fight between the RLS guys. And there will be a lot of ERS dumping right now on the straight. Nordic pulls out. Does he even try to go for the inside line on critical? No, he does not. Also used 55%. 50%. Is there a repass for the lead? On the outside is Nordic. On the inside is Kugi. Please don't go free wide into the stern. And there's a slight wallbang with the Alfa Romeo and the Red Bull as Andy is closing in on them. And Moksha already is also there on the soft tire. Oh! That was wide from Kugi. Probably another warning. Pretty sure some of these positions will be decided by penalties. But as of right now, Feddersen is the only guy who has one. Huge ERS advantage for Critical. Also for Andy, who has managed it better so far. Also compared to before the safety car. The slipstream is powerful even if you have a high downforce setup. I have no idea why the cars look so blurred. Gets very wide for Kugi and he gets a 3-second time penalty. As he was wide in the last turn. Exit of 15 actually. The lap before. And DRS has been enabled. Feddersen is still keeping up with Moksha, who is about to lose the DRS from the guy in front. And has in fact now lost it. I think there's a high chance Kugi is now trying to overtake Nordic because he's way closer to him than Nordic is to Critical, as Crank York and Wiener are swapping places but I will be looking at this battle here. Is there a charge to the inside? No, there's not. We'll go to Crank York and he's been passed. There are already 2 seconds behind and Willison is probably on the move now. Pulls to the outside and has passed Moksha for P5 even before the braking zone of turn 9. That's 7 laps remaining. This has turned into a sprint, which I would assume is also 10 laps on this track when you run a 50% race and a sprint. Because Kota is 28 laps and SS 10 laps. There is a gap forming as the top 4 are pulling the DRS train on the rest behind, and Feddersen obviously with that. In my opinion, wrong call on the tires. We'll be looking to correct that 7 the next time as we go side by side with Nordic, who's trying the swap, the famous switchback, but we see that Andy is just has clever positioned his car and is now into P3. And Kugi moves down the order and is also with Feddersen, your only car that has a time penalty. And there's a smash into the back and there's a front wing gone. As Kugi just mistimes whatever he's trying to do there. And he will lose out heavily on this race now as there are only 6 laps remaining. And it was a very fierce error. And you have to say that has been somewhat a theme for this race, that people make mistakes that cost them their positions and their tires, as Wiener now gets a free second time penalty as well. So both Alfa Romeos, as the team makes a comeback in this league, have time penalties that will affect their final position. And I'm not even looking at post-race penalties as well. It's the usual top 3, as the meme from Harry Potter states. Why is it when there's something that is always U3, as Andy is now trying to overtake Nordic for P2 on the outside of turn 9, but Nordic is more confident on the braking, is blinking like crazy, and that suggests to me that there's no ERS left in the system, with 10% to 60% of critical damage and 40% of Andy. Fastest lap is still with Kugi, who continues and stayed out, but is now passed by Kovetska into P6 into this second to last corner, like in this very short straight bit connecting the corners. He was probably wide on exit. And there is Nordic trying to make it past critical. Pedersen is 2.4 seconds behind. Moksha is keeping up with him. And Kovetska is the leader of this Ferrari powered trio. As there's a swap again. Was there a rear end collision for Kugi once more, as his teammate got past him? Not so sure. Might have to check in at the post race interviews, and Moksha also has a free second time penalty, but there's currently no effect for the race result, as Crankyacht makes a nice move on the ever so struggling Kugi, because there's no downforce left. And Moksha was really interestingly wide there. I saw that on the minimap. Let's keep our eyes at the front. There's still a huge ERS advantage for the Ferrari, who's currently leading this race. And I would think so. And I would think he would continue this lead over the cars behind, because his management has been superb so far, and he has best chances not only defending his position, but also launch a counter attack if he's being passed. And Moksha moves past Pedersen, but they're side by side. And let's go to that. And Pedersen is passed. The Williams, yes, yes, and that's now for position, as Moksha also had a penalty now, and there's a yellow flag from Nocebo. Please no safety car. And get out of the fucking way, my guy. That was a bit irritating to critical damage. Understandably so. The penalties don't do anything for Pedersen and Moksha at the moment. Oh, there's closing in from Nordic. Is he going for it? He's going for it. They're at the apex side by side, but the second part of that chicane is a right hand turn, and that helps for the driver who's on the outside, but there's a second DRS zone coming right up after that, and there's an outside overtaking opportunity for Nordic as he moves past critical damage into P1. But he will be showing his cards now, because if he uses more EIS and he's close to that blinking at the back of the car once again, who was probably spotted by Andy for the last 5 laps or so, Critical will know that he has the upper hand, but decides for a very audacious move into the last turn. And is now under pressure from Andy, has to drive a very defensive line, and is at the risk of running wide and getting a warning that might result in a 3-second time penalty. Andy's at 50%, mid-30s. Oh, this is... What was that, Andy? Don't go for that. You were not alongside. Nordic has even charged his battery now, which is surprising. And critical damage can just sit out this one, because Andy can't overtake both of them at the same time, I would assume. But I think Critical is feeling the pressure for a call for action to do something about this. Move past Nordic and have him as some sort of buffer between them, as there's nothing more important than this battle going on right now. Good effort from Pedersen to keep Moksha behind on the softs, although they are probably dying soon. And based on recent history, Pedersen is also usually the faster driver. Oh, a lot of squirreling and the exit speed, trying to carry that extra speed, as a result being very loose on the exit, having a lot of oversteer. But we just crossed the line for the final lap of this race, and they're on equal ERS, but only one of them from the top 2 guys, from the championship protagonist, has the DRS, and he has to manage the next move. He manually decided to stop the DRS from usage as they all turn in at some of the same time. There's Andy who's tangled with Nordic, and now Critical comes across, pushes Nordic off, and Andy is off. He might be the race winner after that collision. There's no ES for him now because he used all of it. Is there late lunch from Critical on the inside of Andy? Yes, there is. Inside line for turn 9. Can he pull off the move? He's in front. Nordic runs wide, gets a 3-second time penalty. Did Critical just have a critical overtake? And a huge battle for the championship as we approach the last couple of turns at this very chaotic Abu Dhabi Grand Prix after the last safety car. Critical seems to be in front. He is not under pressure from Andy. He comes around the final corner to take the win in Abu Dhabi. Congratulations to Ferrari, and to a very, very interesting race in this league had just had. Andy's into second, and there's also Nordic, who just got the time penalty at the end. He might be fuming at that move. He might be raising his fist against Andy and Critical on how they just couldn't decide who wants to go first into the chicane. They just got tangled, the cars were connected, and there was Critical over the inside curb, and then everything went south from there. Andy had the better positioning, but was out of the air, as you can see. They just recharged a bit, but it was very, very hectic. Pedersen is passed by Moksha. Kovetska moves past somehow. There was a fastest lap even now from Kugi, as he must have pitted for a new wing and tires. And it's also the rev of the day. My voice is completely gone. What an exciting end. And if that result stays, that is a huge step for Critical in terms of the championship. But you have to say that a shitty race like China, like last week, can swing the pendulum for either driver. So if we have, I think it's Bahrain next. Let me check. Miami is next. As we have Miami next, you can see, and that's a Romanian one too as well. Just putting, yeah, Cookie got the fastest lap at the end there. What a race. Yeah, if there are post-race penalties, there's will swing either in Nordic's way because he got held up more, or it stays this way and Critical extends his lead by 10 points, which will be 50 now. That's 2 race wins out of the last 4 remaining races. That's Miami, then we got Imola, Monaco, and the 4th race I just didn't see after checking just now. Wow, let's see what the drivers have to say about this. Wow. Today's race shit show. Okay. I have no permission to talk, that's great. Interviews will begin shortly.
Nordic ENG.
Any second now? Oh, come on, my guy. Don't be that hard. Okay, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
All good.
let's go then. Okay, I'm unmuted to stream. So, welcome to the drivers' interviews now after that very hectic end to this race. We will be talking to second place Nordic Ninja as third place at the moment, Nordic Ninja, as he's been battling with Andy and our race winner for now, Critical Damage. Nordic, I like to pick your brain on the first thing I've noticed on your race before we come to that very interesting last lap. There was a point in time where we had 2 early safety cars, and I was thinking, okay, if you're on the soft, you should pit now, and then you spun. What was going on there?
I didn't know what to do. I was just following my strategy. We were just yapping the whole race in the voice chat, so it was just complete chaos sometimes. I was laughing when I actually spun. So yeah, the focus wasn't there always, but I somehow made the comeback to actually P1 at some point, but then on the last lap, it's a little incident.
Yeah, a little incident. There was obviously 2 more safety cars after that scrap. You had to make your way through the field. You had some good overtaking moves done early on. Then the phase came where you just pulled into the top guys again, and then we had that next safety car, which resulted in everyone being on for a sprint race at the end. You were kind of early on out of ERS in the situation with Andy, and obviously Critica was unknown to you at that time. What was the plan going into the last 5 laps? Because you probably didn't know, but they had a lot more ERS, and you were also already blinking. Did you want to pull the move as early as you did, because there was still some laps left, and Critical tried to make that last lap move, but then obviously the tanker happened? So what was the thought process for you?
I was just trying to save ERS the whole time. I knew Critical had like maximum battery or close to it, and he probably a little less because he tried to overtake me. But yeah, then coming to the last laps, I was just trying to manage the ERS. I wasn't going to pass. I knew I wasn't going to win the race.
Okay. What do you think about the incident that happened in the chicane? Do you think that was all fair and square from everyone involved, or do you think there's a chance to appeal the decision that Critica is, as of right now, first, you are third, and Andy is in between? So, what are your thoughts on that contact?
I mean, yeah, we went a little bit wide there, so like with D, but then I mean, Critical came pretty aggressively back there and absolutely took my front wing away. Like, um, also my teammates also broke their front wings today, so maybe it wasn't our day today.
Yeah, I could see a lot of spinning, unfortunately, going on from Kismukus. Okay, that is very useful insight. Thank you very much. Good luck next time for Miami in 1 week's time. And I will be moving on to Andy, who just finished second. Andy, my guy, congratulations on your podium. I'd like to pick your brain on the strategy for tonight. We saw that Nordic was going for an aggressive strategy. He obviously had the qualifying pace, and he was very soon ahead. And I would think so if there were no too early safety cars, he would have pulled. But in terms of how you set up your race after starting in P3, were you going for the medium soft or the usual conservative medium hard strategy for the night?
Honestly, I didn't give it much of a thought. I just followed the critical in during the second safety car, and that got me a bit out of position. I was P8, I think, or P7, something like that. Yes, with 4 laps newer tires, but it didn't make much of a difference. So overtaking was pretty hard. And I thought I'd lose contact with the leaders at that point, but I managed somehow to get back later on. And surprisingly, the pace at the end was good. The last safety car really helped. It was good timing. I had a fresh set of softs ready for the final stint. I was able to make a couple of overtakes during that last stint, and it got me into a good position in the final laps to fight for the lead. Nordic was really low on battery, and Critical was the first, so he had no DRS. I was P3 and in a very good position to make that overtake for the lead during the final lap. But I was a bit too late on the brakes and didn't take the exit of the chicane really good, and the critical damage got me back till the end, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, that is true. It was very tight as well. You guys battled hard fair and square throughout the last stint. One key moment for me is that the stop you just were talking about, following critical through. From my perspective and my experience, I would say the hard can't really do the distance without losing too much time. So I was, before obviously more safety cars came, I was thinking you guys needed to go again. Were you kind of on the same spectrum? Were you aware that there was probably another stop coming up for you? And if so, did you already plan in your head if you wanted to go for medium or soft? Because that is a very interesting choice to be doing here, since the fresh tires always better at this track. But if you can just conserve the tires like some did, then you just continue the pace forward and you might not even need another stop. But what was your idea of the tire after you just had done 2 safety cars and just followed through?
Honestly, I didn't think the heart was gonna make it till the end, but I thought it was going to make it till very close to the end until I was hoping for a late safety car and to put on the softs for the final few laps. And that is kind of what happened, but there was
Yeah.
another safety car in between, and a lot of battles through it was kind of a risky strategy. I was expecting more cars to come in during that second safety car, and I didn't expect to lose so many positions by going in. But it was what it was, and it didn't work out too bad in the end.
That's true. Yeah, there were a lot of people who actually did pit under the second safety car, so they were kind of off sync, and you had them in the way at that stage. So that was maybe annoying a bit for you. Let's look ahead for next week. What are your thoughts and feelings for Miami? Do you think you can continue with these podium finishes, or is Miami a track you just absolutely hate?
I don't have much experience in Miami, but I think that's kind of a general thing. Lots of people really complain about that track, so I'm expecting to keep kind of the same pace. There's a bit of an obvious performance gap between the first two, which is
Yeah.
our usual Nordic Ninja and Critical Damage, and so I'm kind of safe in P3 right now. I don't give much. I don't put much effort into practicing for the races. I'm kind of set for P3 in this championship, but I'll take them as they come, and hopefully I'll be able to fight for wins during at least some of the races.
Okay, then good luck to you and see you next week.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Let's move on to critical damage now, our race winner from tonight.
Hello.
Critical, that was a very chaotic end to the race, as we had a very interesting and probably controversial collision between you three. But let's start at the beginning. There was quite a huge gap in terms of qualifying pace there. Was that your best effort, or do you think there was a chance of beating Nordic today in the qualifying?
Nah, there is no way I can beat Nordic in qualifying. Really, especially when he practices. It's useless to do more laps in qualifying. Once I do a soft run and the lap is good enough, I settle for P2 or P3 depending on what Andre is doing. But so that I had quite a comfortable gap to Andre, so I just stayed and saved the soft tire for the race.
Yeah, that was a good call. Moving on to the race, we had two early safety cars, and we just had Andy saying that he followed you through on the strategy. What was your thought process behind pitting at the second safety car, staying out for the first? Did you see something in the hearts that they maybe could last the whole distance after that stop? What was your kind of idea?
Not really. So I didn't pit on the first safety car because it was, obviously too early in the race. So the mediums were fresh enough.
Mhm.
And in the second on the second safety car, I just wanted to get rid of the hards. I don't like them in general. So if I stayed, I would have to have had to pit another time, right, for hards. I know lap 15 or whatever, because the softs are not making it to through the end. So I just wanted to get rid of the cards, and then if I had to pit again, that was it actually, and it was not a problem.
Oh, that sounds like you don't have a second medium then.
I had the second medium,
Oh,
right?
okay.
But I started with medium, so if I don't pit, then I have to go to hards anyway, right? In the second part of the race. So I just hoped for another safety car later in the race, which actually happened. But if not, then yeah, try to do hards until the end. But I'm
Okay.
not
Yeah.
sure they would have lost.
Yeah, because I have raised myself there, and my feeling was that at that stage doing a medium soft after you started on the medium was probably also a fast option, but that's totally your call there. We moved on to another safety car. We moved through that, and there was a very late one that basically turned this race into a sprint. You were in the top group as you have passed Moksha, and Nordic had that spin at the restart of the second safety car. Your pace was controlling, you had a good ERS management, and you were leading out front. Did you think the safety car, apart from the tire thing, like even if they lasted, doesn't mean anything? But would you have preferred to the safety car to stay in the pits, or did you feel that was a welcome option for you to maybe close out the race even more concisely, or what was your feeling when you saw again that there was a safety car deployed?
Yeah, good question. I think I hoped for the safety car to stay in the pits actually, because I think
Yeah.
Ninja was uh, quite behind, right? He was P6 or 7, something like that, after he spun.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting to see if my hearts would have made it to the end. But yeah, I think I was first, and Coutinho, sorry if I don't spell his name correctly, but he was second, right? And we were quite far ahead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the other guys.
yeah. That was
Yeah, so
admirable.
I would have been okay with the P2 because he was way faster than me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was quite hard to tell because there was only just you swap places every time, and then yeah, the safety car came very soon as well. So that was I
Nah,
couldn't really tell if there was a gap opening because he also was wide on a couple of moments. Then he had the penalty, crashed into Andy as well, and then the race was gone from him. So yeah, okay. One
yeah,
more.
but that was after the safety car, right? He crashed with Andy after the safety car. Before the safety
yeah,
car, we were
between the third and the last safety car, he crashed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, moving on to the last lap scrap. You were out there. You had some sort of similar level 3S around the guys, and then Nordic passed you a couple of laps before then, and you just waited for the opportunity. You seem to be a bit aggressive on the curb in the chicane, and there was a wide moment for Nordic there, and he claimed that you chopped off his wing. What is your POV on the incident there?
Well, I think that was a clusterfuck, really. Well, once you go 3 wide into that chicane, I mean, everything can happen, right? And I
Yeah.
took the outside line. I think Ninja pushed me a little bit, but that was not a problem. But I was there, right? There, I had nowhere to go. I had to make the corner, right? So I just took the inside curb. I don't know where I should have gone actually if not there. So yeah, I saw we touched, and I saw he, I think, lost some time. Or I was not actually sure that he lost his wing, but I had nowhere to go, right? I was there already, so I just took the inside curb as much as I could, and that was it. Actually, I don't know what I could have done better there.
Okay, and you just had the better momentum at that stage, more EIS, because Andy burned a lot to try to get past both of you at the same time, and then you just took the lead and completed the race. I think that's result will stay. That is a huge thing for the championship now. We approach the last 4 races. You have been constructors champion with Ferrari last season, and you're trying to stop Ninja from getting a second in a row. You lead by 50 points now. How confident are you that you can close it out in the next 2 to 3 races when you look ahead?
Yeah, not at all. I'm not sure why the guys think that I'm in a comfortable lead. I think everybody knows objectively that Ninja is way faster than us, and he shows it every time he practices. And today he also showed in qualifying that he's way ahead. So I think he can win every race until the end of the season. So it's just a matter of me staying on the track and trying to get a few points, and maybe that would be enough. But I was almost not making the race today, and this will be the case for the next 4 races, or however more there are remaining. So I'm not sure. I'll I'll be here enough times to win the championship.
Okay. One final thought. Next time, in 7 days' time, we have Miami. What are your thoughts and feelings on the track? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think?
I didn't really race on it. I think I did like 10 or 15 laps on it at the start of the game cycle. So I really have no experience on it. So I don't know if I like it or not. Hopefully I do, and but that would matter only if I would be at the race. So let's see.
Maybe you have time to look into the real F1 drivers' lines and braking points at this weekend's Grand Prix. So I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you can make it to continue this awesome form of racing we have at the front. Even though there was some sort of a clusterfuck, like you just said, into the chicane at the last time. Thank you very much for your insights, and I hope to see you next time.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy your evening.
You too.
Thanks.
Have a good one,
Bye.
guys. That was it. Or that will be it from tonight's Sim Racing Heat Season 4 NSA Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We just watched a very important stage of the championship conclude. If this result stays, then we have a 50-point lead for our current championship leader in critical damage. You heard him. He's very unexperienced on Miami, I would say, and if Nordic practice, he can beat the field by half a lap if he wants to, and obviously if there are not 4 safety cars. I hope you enjoyed this day. Follow me if you want to see this happening next week as well, and I hope to also see a nice conclusion to the end of this championship, and let's see what the next week will bring us when we come back to Miami in this beautiful championship. Also, I hope the new guys stick around, even though they hadn't had the best start to this thing. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.